In October 1965, as the Vietnam War intensified with no end in sight, a United States Navy pilot named Commander Clarence Stoddard launched from the aircraft carrier USS Midway, carrying an unusual weapon under his right wing, a genuine porcelain toilet rigged as a bomb, complete with tail fins and a fuse, marking the 6 millionth pound of ordnance dropped on enemy forces in a blend of military milestone and bold humor that would become legendary. What followed captured the spirit of innovation and defiance in the face of grueling combat. Yet this tale hides deeper layers of heroism, loss, and the remarkable journey of the aircraft involved. The Douglas A-1 Skyraider, a rugged propeller-driven machine that outlasted expectations from World War II's final days into the jet-dominated skies of Southeast Asia. This is the story of the SPAD, the flying tank that earned its place in history as the only plane to ever drop a toilet in battle, and the brave souls who flew it through fire and fate. The Douglas Skyraider emerged in the closing months of World War II when the United States Navy sought a revolutionary carrier-based strike aircraft to merge the roles of dive bomber and torpedo bomber into one single-seat powerhouse capable of long-range operations across vast oceans. Abandoning the tradition of multi-crew designs, the Navy aimed to replace icons like the Dauntless, Helldiver, and Avenger with a versatile machine that one pilot could handle alone. At Douglas Aircraft Company, designer Ed Heinemann and his team rose to the task, crafting what started as the XBT-2D1 prototype, a massive low-wing monoplane built around a mighty Wright R3350 radial engine churning out over 2,500 horsepower. From its inception, the focus centered on raw power and payload, with the design promising a top speed around 320 miles per hour, a range stretching to 1,300 miles, and the muscle to haul up to 8,000 pounds of bombs, rockets, or torpedoes, specs that made it a battlefield beast, and ones we will revisit soon for their pivotal role in later wars. But Heinemann understood that sheer strength alone would not suffice, as Navy research revealed that trimming just 100 pounds could shorten takeoff distance by 8 feet, extend range by 22 miles, and boost climb rate significantly. So the engineers waged a relentless battle against excess weight, ditching the internal bomb bay for external wing mounts, simplifying the fuel system to save 270 pounds, replacing a fuselage dive brake to cut 70 more, and even reverting to a lighter tail wheel from an older model. No detail escaped scrutiny, and by the end, they had slashed over 1,800 pounds, transforming the aircraft into a nimble giant. When the prototype soared on its maiden flight in March 1945, it impressed everyone, though too late for World War II action. By December 1946, the first production versions, dubbed AD-1, reached Navy squadrons, delivering the promised endurance, heavy lift, and loiter time that let it linger over targets long after speedy jets gulped their fuel and retreated. This edge over emerging jet technology sparked versatility beyond bombing, with adaptations for early warning radar, target towing, search and rescue, and even trials as a nuclear delivery platform in the early Cold War years. Meanwhile, its true test awaited in the frozen hills of Korea. When conflict erupted on the Korean peninsula in 1950, the Skyraider stepped into combat for the first time. On July 3rd, from the USS Valley Forge, Navy pilots thundered skyward on initial strikes, offering capabilities unmatched by jets like the Panther or Shooting Star, which screamed fast but carried lighter loads and burned fuel in mere minutes. The Skyraider, however, lumbered aloft with up to 10 hours of flight time and a bomb load rivaling medium bombers, allowing it to circle battlefields while troops below directed precise hits. Aviators soon cherished its dive-bombing accuracy, tough build that shrugged off damage, and reliability in repeated sorties. North Korean soldiers dubbed it the Blue Plane for its distinctive hue, while United States Marines hailed it as the war's finest aircraft for close air support. But its prowess extended beyond bombs, as in May 1951, pilots from the USS Princeton etched history with the conflict's sole aerial torpedo strike. After bombs and rockets failed to breach the Hwacheon Dam, a vital enemy supply choke point, the Skyraiders returned at low altitude, dodging intense ground fire to release torpedoes into the sluice gates. The barriers shattered, unleashing floods that stalled Chinese advances, earning the squadron the nickname Dam Busters. Losses mounted in these hazardous low-level runs, with anti-aircraft guns claiming many, so engineers added 600 pounds of armor plating. Yet, even burdened, the plane outhauled jets in ordnance. To boost pilot safety in those dives, rocket-assisted ejection seats provided quick escapes at low altitudes for parachute deployment. As the Korean War dragged on, the Skyraider evolved relentlessly, with AD-2 and AD-3 models strengthening landing gear and improving carrier operations, while the AD-4's upgraded Wright-R 3350 engine granted more power for heavy loads in harsh conditions. The breakthrough arrived with the AD-5. Its fuselage widened for side-by-side seating, turning it into a multi-role marvel. Variants like the AD-5N accommodated 4 crew for night attacks, with radar specialists. Others jammed enemy signals with antennas, or served as airborne early warning platforms, roles once filled by the Avenger. Yet its saga continued, for by the 1960s, as jungles in Vietnam claimed lives and demanded endurance, the Skyraider rose again, defying retirement. By then, Marines had shifted to sleek A-4 Skyhawks, but the Navy clung to the piston veteran, redesignating it A-1 in 1962 under new Pentagon rules. It swiftly entered the fray, with A-1H models from the USS Constellation launching in August 1964 during Operation Pierce Arrow, the initial retaliatory strikes after the Gulf of Tonkin incident. Soon, the Air Force recognized its unique talent for sandy missions, where Skyraiders orbited low and slow to shield helicopter rescues of downed pilots, absorbing hits while pounding threats and clearing paths, a role so vital that grateful aviators vowed free drinks for life to those crews. The pinnacle came on March 10, 1966, when Major Bernard Fisher, in an A-1E, braved enemy fire to land on a battered airstrip, rescuing a stranded comrade amid debris and bullets that punched 19 holes in his plane, then taking off with the extra passenger aboard, an act earning him the Medal of Honor. For Skyraider pilots, this embodied the machine's ethos: to persist, protect, and prevail. Its deliberate pace, once a drawback, now shown as an asset, enabling sharp-eyed targeting and precise strikes that minimized friendly fire, boosting rescue successes where jets blurred past too quickly. Then came the toilet bomb legend. In Vietnam, carriers sometimes sent planes with partial loads to sustain sortie rates and dodge scrutiny from rear echelon officials in Washington who demanded full-effort signals. Amid high loss rates, often one aircraft daily, crews hesitated to fly light. So for milestones like the 6 millionth pound of ordnance, ingenuity ruled. Commander Clarence Stoddard's A-1H from Attack Squadron 25 bore that special payload, a toilet modified with fins, fuse, and rack mount. As he catapulted off the deck, the bridge radioed in surprise. "What in the world is on 572's right wing?" His wingman, Lieutenant Commander Robin Bacon, captured the drop on camera, the spinning porcelain nearly clipping him but missing, a morale-boosting prank that lightened the grim grind for ordnance handlers and flyers alike. But combat held no humor on other days, like when 4 Skyraiders scrambled on June 20th, 1965, to guard a downed F-4 Phantom crew near Thanh Hoa, only to face 2 North Vietnamese MiG-17 jets. Outsped but nimble at low levels, the propeller planes dove into valleys, twisting through terrain to evade cannon fire. In a bold counter, 2 Skyraiders maneuvered head-on, unleashing 20mm rounds that shattered one MiG's canopy and sent it plummeting, the war's first Skyraider air-to-air victory, proving that in tight fights, endurance and agility could trump velocity. Candidly, jets always outpaced it, yet close support valued precision over haste. The Skyraider's appeal spread to allies, with French forces using it in Algeria, the British adapting it for early warning, and South Vietnamese pilots wielding it through their nation's fall. By 1973, United States units transferred the last ones to South Vietnam's Air Force, where they flew frantic support in jungle clashes and urban sieges, defying, overhead, MiGs and surface-to-air missiles as the final propeller strike aircraft in a jet era. When Saigon collapsed in April 1975, many were lost or seized on runways, though some escaped to Thailand crammed with up to 25 refugees, their crews landing at Allied bases rather than yield. Mostly, they battled to the bitter end. Inevitably, time caught up, as the Skyraider faced foes like missiles it was never meant for. Tragically, Commander Stoddard, the toilet bomb hero, perished on September 14, 1966, when surface-to-air missiles struck his plane over the Gulf of Tonkin, a stark reminder of evolving threats in skies it dominated through sheer grit. Its path was extraordinary. Born at World War II's close as a dive torpedo bomber, honed in Korea for ground support, and immortalized in Vietnam as a lifesaver. That legacy echoes in successors like the A-10 Warthog and modern drones, machines designed to hover, hit accurately, and outlast, showing that true legends arise not from speed or novelty, but from unyielding resolve.